There we go. Hopefully you can all see the screen. I'm just going to nip back to the pop in and just double check. Yes, excellent. Great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Okay, so how can leaders help develop and launch better projects on time? So this was a presentation put together with my friend Nestor Gavilon. As I said, unfortunately, he's suddenly ill this week, and he wasn't well enough to attend. But yeah, full credit to Nestor. We worked on this together. Now, many organizations are turning to lean product and process development. Let me just go full screen. Many organizations are turning to lean product and process development to overcome the challenges of launching the right products with the right features on time and to budget. Now, many organizations are actually turning to LPPD to help them with this. But for leaders and managers who support these teams, we've got a big challenge learning to manage in a different way. And that's what I want to get into today. So this learning session, we'll delve into the key challenges leaders and managers face and how you can navigate these pitfalls and help teams develop better products quicker and faster. As I said, Nestor from Spain was involved in this as well, so hopefully you'll get well soon. My name is Darren Walsh from the Lean Enterprise Academy. I've been working in improvement and lean now for over 25 years. Started out working with the likes of Sega, Boston Scientific, Parker Hannifin, Zodiac Aerospace, and I've worked with many, many more. My main focus is helping leaders and senior managers who are already on a lean journey make lean and continuous improvement work. For some reason, many organizations still struggle. We still struggle with firefighting, struggle with applying the right improvement activities at the right time. And the organization often gets some improvement, but not the big game-changing results. So that's my main focus area. And typically I work with organizations in medical device, oil and gas, heart valve replacement. We're currently working on a project there to reduce the referral to treatment time from 12 months down to 3 months. Also financial services and some startups, healthcare startups. So here's some of the members of the LPPD team, the Lean Product and Process Development team. And we come together, so as well as working in our own institutes and our own projects, often what we do is we come together to share and to collaborate and to challenge each other to develop new value for you guys. Nestor. Some of the struggles that many organizations have is developing, often we develop the wrong products. So the products are not used then by the customers, or customers don't buy them or sign up for them, or we develop products, but we deliver with the wrong functionality. So customers keep asking for additional functionality, or we don't deliver on time or to budget. You've got some examples here, but these are just examples. There's many, many more, from Google Glass to Samsung, I think it's a Galaxy 7, the Boeing Dreamliner, which was delayed by many, many years, and Sega that at one point did have a high level of market share, but then lost out on its new product development through long lead times and developing with the wrong features. And even Gartner research has found that 45% of organizations don't deliver the products or projects on time, and they're at least a month late. So it's a significant impact where we could actually lose out to the competition. So this is where lean product and process development comes in. So this is where we can help. But traditional management product development kind of comes up with an idea. We explore that idea. We work on the execution, and unfortunately, we've got to do a lot of work in the startup phase to correct the problems and to re-engineer things. It's a bit like the British government's mini budget. You know, we come up with an idea, launch it, find out it doesn't work. Really, what we should be doing is we should be spending a bit more time up front in the idea phase. We should be exploring alternatives. We should be exploring and understanding what the customer really wants and developing different functionality and working on what's the best functionality. Then we can deliver. And when we deliver, we want to deliver quickly. Without the additional costs in the ramp-up phases. So that's what lean product and process development can do for us. And you know, looking at just to backtrack, actually, you know, one of the reasons why I'm really interested in product development and launching projects on time is that you can't just think about, you know, when you get an order to providing that goods or service to the customer. Every organization's got 4 primary processes. Understanding the customer and our sales process, the product development process, the operations or the manufacturing process, and also our aftermarket process. And to excel on, you know, 1 or 2 of those is just not good enough. And that's what I found out when I was working for Sega. We need to excel at the 4 of those processes. So yeah, getting into new product development, we can break this process down really to 3 phases. It's the scoping and the definition phase. We've got the functional development phase where we develop the functionality of the product or project. And also we've got the delivery phase. Going deeper into the scoping or definition phase, there's a number of lean tools and techniques that we can use here. We have concept papers. A concept paper is typically a quite in-depth document, a 10 or a 30-page document that translates the customer needs, the market needs into one document that really breaks down the key features, what's required. You could even use an A3 to summarize this as one piece of paper to summarize, you know, what is the vision for the product, what are the key features, why do we need those key features. And there's a QR code if anyone wants a copy of this paper, a well-written paper by Jose Ferro on concept papers. You can get that QR code. We also use, you know, we try and understand the voice of the customer. What are the customer's pains? What they need? What do they really want? So you can use value proposition or value canvas sheets for these. And what we try and do here is we try and understand the pains and the frustrations that the customers have, and what are the activities that they're using our products for, and what are the gains? Where do they really want to go? What are the benefits to often satisfy the end customer? And that's where we can start looking at our products. We can look at the elements of the products that address the pains, and we can look at the elements of the products that increase the benefits and gains. Unfortunately, many focus on the gains, but if you've always got sort of these frustrations in place, then that can really have a negative impact. So we've got to address the pains first. Yeah, so this value proposition helps us start understanding the customer. Who's the customer? What do they actually do? What do they do with the product? Understand what are their pains and gains, and then look at sort of the avenues that we can help to support that. Also, we can look at from a voice of the customer. We can also look at the customer value stream. So we can map this customer value stream. we can go back, from the customer's point of view or the end customer's point of view, and we can start mapping and understanding the steps from that customer's viewpoint. Also, something that supports you is understanding the SIPOCs. This is also known as a turtle diagram. So where we start to understand who are the customers, what are the outputs and benefits that they require, what's the process for delivering those outputs, what are the inputs to the process, and who supplies them. From a functional development point of view, we can also get into the product development. We can use traditional concepts for product development, where we have some concepts and then we have an idea. From there, we pull an idea from there, we select one, and we do some detailed design and we work on it. We put a lot of investment in there, and we try and push that to the end and launch that. Often that requires multiple rework cycles to actually get this working. This is the traditional product development approach. It's often called point-based engineering, where we're taking a sort of a solution and progressing that solution. From a lean point of view, we can use set-based design or set-based concurrent engineering, where we start using diamonds. So the idea of diamonds is we go wide to explore what the customer needs and narrow to articulate it. We go wide to understand product features that are required and the real ones that are necessary. And we can go through this approach of diamonds to go through the design and develop products, test features, come up with minimal viable products, test them, use trade-off curves to actually down select and get rid of some of the noise, and then develop and launch the products that the customer wants. We can use various techniques to support that. The one I just mentioned was trade-off curves. So using real facts and data to help us eliminate what we think, what concepts we think work best, or what actually do work best. So we can use the idea of trade-off curves to understand which options are best. When we've got a trade-off, sometimes we get a trade-off between, in this case, pressure and noise, but in other cases we can get a trade-off between strength and weight. Also, we can use some other tools and techniques like TRIZ. So TRIZ is a Russian acronym for inventive problem solving, and that can help us overcome some of these trade-offs. In the design phase, we can work on design reviews. We can still, the traditional design and development uses stage gate approaches, but we can still use elements of these stage gates in the lean set-based design. Because ultimately we don't want to go too far through the process without making sure that certain criteria is met. And as we go through this process, we can also down select. We can explore these different alternatives, but also down select or deselect certain options based on the facts and data. In the project delivery phase, we often use visual management or Obeya. So Obeya, it just means big visual room. It allows us to understand what the customer needs are, the market needs, the product requirements, the performance of the team, the project schedule, the collaboration space where people are mocking up different alternatives and trying to work through some solutions. And the idea of this is you've got one big visual room, and in this big visual room, all of the information is transparent. The team can work, they can work in that space, they can put the information, they can get information, and it just cuts down on the bureaucracy of reports and meetings and things like that, and just makes everything transparent. And yes, So one of the problems we've got is actually what we do is we spend a lot of time on the tools and techniques, and we don't quite get that balance from leadership, the leadership side of things. So this gets us into, how do leaders help develop and launch better projects on time and quicker? So there's lots and lots of tools out there. There's lots and lots of tools and techniques out there. The tools and techniques are not going to deliver all the wins on their own. It's largely around the thinking behind the tools. So what we need from leaders and managers to support this is to stop jumping to solutions. And you don't need to come up with the big ideas. Ultimately, we need to encourage people who are doing the work to come up with ideas, and we need to explore those ideas and then down select based on facts and data. It's not about knowing all of the answers and being the technical expert and focusing on meetings and reporting. And that's very difficult for many leaders in the product development space. Many leaders in that product development space have been promoted because they have been the technical expert. But to develop your team to know more than you do and to work in a slightly different way, that's a bit of a challenge. So instead, what we need from leaders and managers who work in these spaces, in the project delivery space or product development space, is to help to check and help people follow the structured PDCA thinking. So within concept papers, within your visual management, there's the structured PDCA thinking that we need to follow. That helps us avoid the solution thinking, rush into solutions. We need to make sure that decisions are made with relevant facts and data. So sometimes, that's not having the person who's the expert, to push through these big ideas or these, in some cases, maybe very, very good ideas. But we need to work with relevant facts and data to prove things and disprove things. Also, for leaders and managers, they've also got their own problems to solve. So we need them to also help us to expose organizational issues and systemic issues in the process. It may be the process for delivering projects on time or developing products. It may be the process has got some failings, and that is actually driving the wrong things, the wrong behavior. We also need to help maintain standards until better ways are found, and sort of becoming that value detective where we are on the constant lookout for what does the customer really need? What is the customer value? What's the end customer? What's the market requirements? What is the pains and gains? And when you start identifying multiple customer needs or market issues, that's when you can really sort of get a step change ahead of your competition. And it's becoming sort of, being curious and becoming that lifelong learner. So, lean, when Dan and Jim come up with the 5 principles of lean, and they spoke about value stream, creating flow, establishing pull, and seeking perfection. Most people focused on the waste. This is not about eliminating waste. This is about value. It's about helping that value flow through the business. In the product development phase or project launch, it's all about identifying the value from the customer's perspective and making that value flow. And in some cases, we need to add additional functionality or steps to make sure that we are capturing the real value and enhancing that value for the customer. When we get into concept papers and SIPOCs and value proposition, so the leader's role here is not to say, well, this is an issue, this is an issue. The leader's role here is to make sure that we are following the PDCA structure. we're following the PDCA structure in the concept papers, that we're engaging, so the leaders are engaging, managers are engaging, different functions in the business are engaging multiple functions within the customer's business to try and expose and understand what is the value, what's the frustrations the customer has, how does the customer really use this, how could they benefit from that. So it's being that value detective, and also, you know, making sure that we are following the PDCA structure and that we are using relevant facts and data. And it's the same for the, you know, the functional development phase. You know, when we're in that functional development, when we are doing the set-based design, we want to make sure that people are exploring alternatives. We need to make sure that people are ruling things out with good facts and data, relevant facts and data, I should say. One way that we can do this is also, you know, using Lambda. You know, Lambda is not a problem-solving approach. Lambda is just a behavioral model, which gets us to go and look, to ask questions, but listen more than we're asking questions. Try and model that, discuss it, and test it out or standardize it. In the project delivery phase, in the Obeya space or the visual management, what we are looking for here again is not to ask and answer the questions that the team should be answering. It's really looking at this from a systematic view. Are the teams following the standard that you've laid down? If not, why not? Are the boards up to date? Are they using it? Are they exposing the problems? It's also understanding, you know, performance, and are we winning or losing? And if we've got problems and gaps, well, what are they? And the simple way that some organizations are capturing that is when these tickets start to slip, is with simple tallies, and then applying problem solving to that. And here's another example. So it's making sure that we are following, you know, the structure. So the leader's role is to also check the linkages. I talk about linkages quite often. We learn about linkages in good problem solving that contains PDCA. Linkages in, you know, understanding the team's performance, the gap, the problems, and then the breakdown of those problems, you know, which ones are the biggest, and then who's solving those problems and do they need help. Same is true on the progress. You know, what is hindering our progress? You know, you see another example. You know, the leader's job is not to go to the Obeya spaces and ask all the questions. What they should be doing is listening out for what questions are being asked, what answers are being given, and, you know, is the standard being maintained, and are we following the linkages? Do we have good linkages and good structure there? When they start learning from this, that's when they can do some coaching outside of the meetings. Yeah, same as what you get in sports teams. The managers can't be on the pitch. Some of them will shout, but a lot of the coaching is done, you know, off the pitch. This supports the number one reason why change fails in any organization, and that is not having active and visible leadership. So to support change, we need leaders to actively be involved, to have time, to create the time, to be visible, to listen, and to also lead on certain things. This comes into what I've covered with you today. Really, is we are talking about, you know, how can leaders play their role here? Yeah. So if you want any more information on this, just reach out to myself or Nesta. We've got some gap analysis reports that you can do using this link. And yeah, in summary, yeah, so leaders' responsibilities is to help maintain standards, ensure teams are working in a structured way with relevant facts and data, working on improvements. So leaders get involved in trying to discover organizational issues, systematic issues. This is where leaders themselves need to be doing the value stream maps themselves, not delegating it to their team. The purpose of a value stream map is to help leaders learn about the value stream and its issues. And knowing the customer problem better than they do. And then having that discipline, thought, and action, and spend more time, listening and not coming up with solutions, and becoming that sort of lifelong learner. So that's me. So I'm going to stop sharing. I think I'm just in time. Okay, any questions? Thank you. Okay, so we got some questions. Let me just, hello. No. Okay, so the couple of questions. Can you send the QR code? Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, you can also use Kata in this as well. What I find is that a lot of people will go through the Kata steps. It's a bit like going through, why, and they try and sort of force the model. It's about the thinking behind this. Could I share the A3 version of the template? Yeah, sure. Bonnie, if you leave your email address, I will send that to you. Margarita's asking, yeah, can I send the link? Can you copy the link? Yeah. Thank you for the, Maral, yes. Samantha, thank you. How do you do digital Obeya? Good question. Often I would start with a physical Obeya first. Even during the pandemic, the majority of organizations that we work with that moved to digital, the ones that did not have any problem at all, had applied physical Obeyas first. So Gerard, if you've got a team that is working together, I would definitely use a physical Obeya first. It cuts down a lot of the IT issues. If you've got a team that definitely are all working in different areas, we can use the same structure, but you can use the likes of Miro or Mural. So there's lots of different ways. And if you want to email me, my email address is darren@leanuk.org. I'm happy to share sort of a framework with all of you to develop that visual management and that Obeya. Okay, so we got a good few emails there. How do you ensure that problems are worth solving? Good question. There's different types of problems. So first of all, I would look at the problems that on the Obeya side, on the delivery side, I would look at the problems that the team are having. So if the team keep having similar problems, you can expose this based on frequency. If you wanted, you could add another sort of dimension to it based on weighting. But the majority of time, frequency is enough. We can work on the problems that are impacting the team the most. From a customer's perspective, again, it's understanding, well, what problems are the customer having? And again, we could do some small minimal viable product to understand whether they are worth developing. Hi, Roberto. Could we share a copy of the video of your presentation? I'm sure the answer is yes, but I need to double check. Again, if you leave your email address, if it's not sent out after this event ends tomorrow, I will get a copy and I will share it with you. When I come back from the World Cup, did I mention the World Cup? Sorry about that. Yeah. So I'm going to cheer my country along. When I come back from the World Cup, myself and Nestor are planning to do an event in probably mid-December. So it may just be sort of a Q&A, but we can share that invite with you, and you're more than welcome to ask more questions. Okay, thank you. And we've got some emails coming in as well. That's perfect. Well, I hope unless there's any more questions, my email address, is Darren at, it's an easy one, darren@leanuk.org. Copy of the presentation and the A3 template. Yeah, no problem at all. I can send you the templates, but what I would say is, A3 is like many other tools. It's just a tool. We really need the thinking behind the tools. So again, I'd be happy to run through a short session on that with you at any time. Thank you, Peter. And I hope you've all had a good day. Thank you, Nicholas. I hope you've all had a good day. You've had lots of good content. I'm on again in 30 minutes talking about Born Lean. How do we launch products that are already lean at the time of launch? So you're more than welcome to join us. Thank you. I'm just going to check, how do I get the email addresses from everyone? Something I've learned, A3 is A3 is definitely a blank sheet of paper. Once you master it, it's a blank sheet of paper. It's more than a tool. Completely agree with you. But often people just fill in the boxes and treat it as a tool. And it's definitely a way of thinking. Completely agree with you. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, have a good evening. If I don't see you later, enjoy. Thanks. I need to double check, how am I going to get these emails? Ask admin. Stanley, thank you very much. Nino, thank you. I'm hoping admin will help me capture all these emails. Roberto, how are we doing?
Hi, Darren.
Good.
I was participating, listening very well.
Thank you. Yeah. So, do you know how I can get the copy of the emails?
Sorry?
Can I get a copy of the emails in the chat?
I don't know. I have to ask it to the two people. I think so. I think so. I think it's easy. Okay. I will let you know. Bye.
Okay. I'll see you. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you all. I will see you soon. Bye.